welcome to this video of the last battle that I have of the World's competition for factions. We have two competitors that, again, we have seen already a few times on the channel, so not a lot of extra segments, but we are going to get some really good battles and actually some good insights that I expect for Worlds as well. Let's take a look. We're going to take a look at the Open Grey League meta this time, and on the left we have Zarddy from Brazil. We have on the right JesusAWC from Japan. Let's take a look at the matchup that we have here. These players were actually in the same group as I was. I played Zarddy. I lost 1-2 to him. I didn't play JesusAWC, but my faction teammate Dex did. So these are the teams that the players chose. It's a show 8, ban 2, block 2 format. The blocked Pokemons, I call it them green. They cannot be banned by the players. And from JesusAWC, I'm not surprised that they blocked the Dunsparce. They've been killing it with the Dunsparce in Open Grey League so far. I would not be surprised if they mentioned it as one of their favorite Pokemon. And it just does well against most of the things Zarddy brings here. Now, Zarddy is a little bit more prepared with Pokemon that have slightly better matchups, such as the Galarian Stunfisk, Registeel, Quagsire. They do pretty well against that Dunsparce, so it's not like unchecked. And obviously, Medicham just annihilates this. Zarddy took a really strong corner at Galarian Stunfisk with the Altaria, so I think the bans can go either way. Let's take a look here. We see that Zarddy banned the Galarian Stunfisk and the Azumarill. The Azumarill makes perfect sense. It's like one of the few Pokemon that really threaten the Galarian Stunfisk Altaria core, so that makes sense. And opposing Galarian Stunfisk ban really frees up that Altaria for Zarddy. It looks like JesusAWC banned the Medicham and the Quagsire from Zarddy. Again, making that Dunsparce even better than it already was. It makes Trevenant a little bit worse because Trevenant counters those things, but maybe Trevenant is just not the way here. Now let's take a look at the battles that we have here. We have both sides of the battles here, the recordings. We have on the left Zarddy, we have on the right JesusAWC. Let's take a look. We have here from Zarddy a really good lead and a pretty good safe swap as well. JesusAWC knows, well, I banned the Medicham. What's the worst I can face if I say switch the Dunsparce? And that is either the Registeel or the Galarian Stunfisk. But these really are not the worst matchup, especially since Rollout got a little bit buffed. I think you do 2 damage now instead of 1 with Rollout, so not great, but you know, it's something. Shooting at Focus Blast. We see Flash Cannon as well on Zarddy's Registeel, probably to do better against the Shadow Nidoqueen. That makes sense, and against Trevenant, of course. Yeah, there's nothing you really need Zap Cannon for. You beat Noctowl quite consistently as well. But look, already 1 shield down. Going 2 shields down, even JesusAWC on the Dunsparce, really preserving this Dunsparce as much as possible. Dunsparce is also tanky enough that it can live 1 Focus Blast, so it wouldn't even KO. If you want to win this matchup as Zarddy, you have to go 2 shields down here. And if JesusAWC is able to catch a move, then Dunsparce could be a problem later. But it looks like Zardy's just going to let it go. And it's actually a problem, because now you don't have anything to take this Altaria on, this Dunsparce on with. There's nothing on your team that can clean it up easily. So this is actually looking really good for JesusAWC at this point. The problem also is if you double shoot there Zarddy, JesusAWC might just be able to do 1 counter with a Medicham and snipe all your energy. So Zarddy never was really in a good spot anyway here. And this is also not a great matchup for Altaria. Dunsparce wins this matchup quite consistently. And going for another Rock Slide here. I didn't see the battles from Dex. Dex also played against JesusAWC, who also played a lot of Dunsparce against him. But I can imagine this is how it went. This looks like Zarddy really underestimated the Dunsparce, and JesusAWC is just going on a roll with it. Skytech will take it out from here. Oh, barely didn't actually, but 1 Dragon Breath is enough to do it. Now Medicham comes in, which didn't have much play in the first place anyway. We see Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch on it, by the way. No Psychic. Guess you don't really need it, right? This won't do enough, though. And not throwing immediately. Very good patience from JesusAWC. Now you have the knockdown, the Sableye. And this just looks great for JesusAWC because Medicham also wins the charge attack priority against the Altaria, so you have that Ice Punch stored as well. So this can't really go wrong anymore at this point. Zarddy kind of needs that return and the foul play, but he did build up a lot of energy here, so not great. What could your play be if a Dunsparce swaps in? Maybe you have to build up like 4 of those. What's it called? Four Shadow Claws or something. Like you have a little bit of time. And then double shield the Registeel. If they go 2 shots down anyway, because the rollouts won't take you out. It's the drill runs, right? Yeah, that's a tough matchup that Zarddy had there. Really didn't have a good answer for that Dunsparce. He even brought his most consistent answer, but right, the Registeel. Maybe the Galarian does a little bit better, but it's worse against like Medicham and Vigoroth. But yeah. Next battle that we have Altaria into Medicham again. A good lead for Zarddy here. Well, Ice Punch gonna do a lot of damage here though. But this is probably where Zarddy would like to see this. Obviously, well, I mean, it might be a Charmander Knights. In comes a Dunsparce, and against Zarddy, he did not bring a single Steel type. Not a single Steel type. Even though the Steel types take super effective damage from the drill runs. Ah, this is tough, dude. In comes Sableye, which is not really an answer. And what's also unfortunate about this is that Sableye is your best Medicham monster. So you lose on 2 fronts there. Alright. One drone won't KO yet though, so Zarddy has a little bit of time to build up some energy, but that will allow JesusAWC to get a clean farm down as well. And a foul play won't take out this Dunsparce yet from this range. Let's see if Zarddy knows. Zarddy knows. Going for that return. A foul play barely might not. But you kind of have to at this point. Letting the Dunsparce go. Realizing if that's a foul play, he might live and get some more, get another drone off. Now Noctowl comes in and gets a very nice farm down here. Can you get to another foul play? He doesn't. That might be crucial. If that's a Power Snow level 9 touch, you might be pretty good here. If it's a Charm, and I think it's Charm because he brings in the Altaria to soak up energy here. Problem with Charm is, it's not even good against Noctowl. It's just not. Not with shields up at least. An Ice Weather Ball does a lot of damage, but the Charms, they add up too. Noctowl is really bulky though, and it charges energy fast, so it can get to those 3 Sky attacks quite easily. On the other hand, the Medicham is also almost full health from JesusAWC, which means that it might also be able to get to a move here against Zarddy's Alolan Ninetales. Probably feeling a little bit more confident with the Alolan Ninetales, knowing that the Nidoqueen might not be used as much. I think Nidoqueen is actually quite good against Zarddy. Right, against Registeel, Alolan Ninetales, although Flash Cannon Registeel is not great against, of course. In comes that Medicham. Jesus still has a shield and barely gets to that Dynamic Punch here, just barely. Revealing the moveset doesn't really matter at this point. You got the 2 points that you want. It's probably also obvious that JesusAWC runs either Power Punch or Dynamic Punch there. You don't really need the Psychic. Alright, so Zarddy is 0-2 right now. JesusAWC and the Dunsparce are basically unstoppable so far. Let's take a look at battle number 3. If Zarddy can get a point, we have the Sableye to the Noctowl, which is terrible. In comes the Medicham to answer this Registeel. Now, you still win the 0 shields without Zapkin here, because 2 Flash Cannons will take out. But Medicham here has Dynamic Punch, so you don't actually. You actually don't. But if it does have Dynamic Punch, you still win the 0s with Flash Cannon. What really sucks here is that... look at the counting, by the way. Really good counting. What really sucks is you don't get any debuffs. Oh, going for the shield? Interesting. Going to try and get a shield here. I don't hate that. You get the farm down anyway on the Sableye. But can you get to another Flash Cannon here? It's unlikely, because JesusAWC would throw the move, probably. You get there? Oh, look at that. JesusAWC does not want to risk it. Going for that Ice Punch right before the Flash Cannon. This will take it out. You get a nice farm on the Sableye, which might be useful, but man, you really want the alignment here, though. Like, oh, actually, Sableye is not going anywhere. It's not great against Dunsparce either. It's better against Dunsparce than knocked out, but... And going for the Dynamic Punch, that's a smart play, because one Dynamic Punch, even though resisted, does more than one Ice Punch. Going for a hard-hitting return here. JesusAWC says, no way. It's gonna be done. It's gonna be the Dunsparce show. This really would not have been a great team against potential Registeel lead, but looks like Zarddy had it in the back, so it was quite safe for JesusAWC here. Shadow Ball does good damage, and that makes the Altaria even more manageable now. What I really noticed in these battles, and I think Dex also lost 3-0 to... no, he lost 1-2. He lost 1-2 to JesusAWC, and he told me. They used Dunsparce the whole time. And I just didn't see it coming. I didn't bring Medicham at all. This is just a prime example of it. Dunsparce, how do I say that without swearing? You don't mess, you don't mess with Dunsparce. Look at that. Because rollout has a weird animation. Jesus even managed to sneak one in there. Zarddy kind of caught off guard there, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Has two rock slides here. But yeah, just underestimating the Dunsparce, and it has really good coverage, right? There's Medicham on every single team in Open Grey League in Show 6 usually. This is a little bit of a different format, so you can get rid of the Medicham at times. But it can just be so good. It just checks flyers, it checks ghosts, checks ice. And those are not uncommon. It does very well against Licky Tongue. That's coverage against steals. That's everything you're looking for. It's similar to Galarian Stunfisk. But like not weak to like water, even though Swampert and Quagsire aren't great matchups either, right? It's a little bit similar and better against Ghosts. So that's why I think Dunsparce is really good and a good call from Jesus. A really tough 0-3 for Zarddy here. Now let's take a look at how these factions are doing right before going to the knockout stage. With this convincing win, your bag is full. The Australian faction actually ended up on top in the group. And unfortunately, Elite Four barely falling short. It really came down to the last bout where factions that won their matchup basically went through, and your bag is full and Chicago Stars, they won their matchup. So Elite Four and Zarddy unfortunately are out. Just like my faction, E-Rampers, I still think we're some of the best, but who am I to talk right now, right? It's your bag is full has been doing great, so maybe we'll see more of them later. Hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one.